Wow, I don't know if we've gotten to see Racecar Drift since the beginning of the first act? Have we seen Racecar Drift in a while? Because we're looking so good. Look at this fun car. This is a fun car full of fun folks. Hey, welcome back to Arcade Spirits. I'm your host, the Prince of Play, Solon, and we last left off, we jumped in the Mystery Machine because we're being precocious. We're gonna be assertive, we're gonna put ourselves into difficult situations for fun. We've decided that we are the fourth member of this adventuring party, which I think, looking at the three in the car, that would make Gavin's the tank, and Francine is DPS, obviously. So are we healer or no? Because, you know, we've got a mechanic in the car. They're gonna be the healer, I think. I don't know how mechanics work in D&D. I guess we're the third wheel. We're the third wheel, aren't we? I think we might be utility. DPS. Yeah. Bard? No. No, Racecar Drift isn't the Bard. Oh, he's the Racer, of course. You know, that classic D&D class, Racer. Their thing is they bring a car and they run over goblins and kobolds. Just GTA, they pull a gat out and shoot dragons. That's how it goes. You ever seen that Ford commercial? The World of Warcraft Ford commercial, the Leroy Jenkins, the whole thing? It's Racecar Drift is that class, whatever class that is. Gavin, consulting a driving map on his phone, leads us out of the city via a series of weird twists and turns and back roads. Okay, so we are meeting Hamza, who I assume is either a green man in a silly little hat that can teleport places, or a large porking pig. Hamza is going to be our associate that we're going to meet so that we can go... Are we buying or are we selling? It's some kind of auction in the middle of nowhere for arcade games. So, on site at some abandoned estate just outside town. It's about to be torn down, but they found a trove of arcade games in the basement. Woohoo! Yeah, okay, we're raiding for arcade games. Arcade auctions. Raids. Auctions! Y'all got arcade to English dictionary I could borrow? Francine, without looking up from her knitting, answers, a raid is when a bunch of collectors get together, rescue games before they can be junked by their original owner. An auction is when someone sells off their arcade games one at a time to a crowd of active bidders. I'm assuming this is going to be both. It's both. Hamza, that sweet boy, buys up private collections before they can be thrown away and rescues them from their terrible fate, and then auctions off all of his finds, sort of. Yeah, okay, this sounds skeezy. Like, he's just a famous guy. Okay, so Hamza obviously auctions off games for cash money, but he's a very whimsical kind of guy. Once I saw him trade off a vintage Burger Time in exchange for someone's super secret chili recipe, passed down through generations of family. In other words, he's just on the edge of being a loon. This would be a lot simpler if it was just a raid. We pay up front, we declare what games we want, and cart them away. Instead, he ambushes us with impromptu auctions and makes us come down there to entertain his whims. Wonderful. It's so sweet, though. He wants to make sure the games go to good homes, to people who really want them, even if they can't pay. And really, we should be honored we got an invitation. He's trying to cut out the big franchise arcades like Deco's Palace. Help the little guys like us. It's inefficient and relies entirely on keeping on Hamza's good side. Yeah, Gavin, play some politics, dog. This could be a lot simpler. Helping out the little guys sounds good here. I'm not gonna take a side on this. So, he only invites a select hand-picked group to his auctions. How'd you end up with that select hand-picked group? That would be my doing, dearie. He likes to visit local arcades whenever he's in town, and as I like to get to know everybody who walks in our doors, I approached him. I suppose we achieved a certain rapport, considering we've had 3 invitations so far, so got some rather lovely games too. That's where we got Moopy. We need to temper our expectations a little, I suspect.
I think not.
We don't have room to add any more games, especially relics like Hemza usually deals in. What about the off-site storage unit? We can just rotate games in and out more often. Nearly full to bursting, and not cheap for us to rent on a monthly basis. I'm not saying we have to go home empty-handed. Certainly a few holes in our roster we can fill, should we find an excellent deal and beat the other bidders. But consider this, above anything else, a way to maintain relations with Hamza, even if we don't end up bidding. There we go. Those are the politics I'm expecting, Gavin. Now, Naomi, Gavin knows the numbers. I'm in favor of making our little funplex a little more fun, but floor space is finite. And Gavin, remember, if we find some darling little game Naomi would lavish adoration upon, we can always retire an older game. Life, my young friends, is a series of trade-offs. Well, isn't it better to, not just settle and compromise all the time? Well, now, there are trade-offs, and there are trade-offs. Silly you should say never compromise, as silly as it would say to say you should always compromise. It's what you compromise that defines who you are. You're all so young, yet you've time to make mistakes and learning what trades you need to make. Unless you don't make rent on your apartment or your stomach is growling. Iris and Juniper have pushed me to stop settling for less out of life, to stand up for myself and my happiness. And I've done just that without regrets, so everything should be fine now, right? Alright, default topic diversion. Well, the weather! It's a great day for outing, isn't it? Fuck! God! Every time! Wonderful. Glad I packed plastic bags to wrap cabinets in, just in case. That's our Gavin, always thinking ahead. Trying to protect your investments, huh? From Hamza's invitation, it seems this arcade was largely abandoned and left to rot. I'd rather not add water damage to the ailments the games are already suffering. It's so sad when we come across a wonderful game that's just ruined beyond repair. Most collectors show their collections a lot of love, but others just don't care. You find old games in barns, exposed to the elements and falling apart. I suppose this is one thing we can easily agree on. It's important to take care of your games. For their resale value, you mean? A broken game's no fun to play with. It's a shame to see a classic in terrible condition. Consider pinball. Pinball games are very prone to breakdowns, particularly older ones. Because they're really weird. I don't know if y'all have seen an old pinball machine, but like, the parts that they are made of are A, no longer standard, and really weren't standard to begin with, and B, are mostly just made out of wood. It's like, just wood and springs, and not a lot else. They are, they can be pretty rugged though, because they're just made of solid substances. Low electronics and stuff. But those electronics are very fragile. So, if you want to experience them in their full glory, you need to show them care. Even beyond a busted game earning no quarters, it feels like a waste to allow an enjoyable game lie fallow. A waste of true potential. Yeah, good point. Aw, they're getting along better, even if Naomi kept preemptively attacking him along the way there. With the round painting down on the van roof, conversation gets difficult. Gradually, everyone resumes fiddling about with their phones, knitting or driving. Leaving me to wonder exactly where is this auction and or raid happening anyway? Come on! Go! Maybe it's some closed down roller rink or an old bowling alley or a haunted mansion! Or maybe it's Castlevania! Ah, the classic drift luck in play. So majestically awful. Oh. This Flight of the Bumblesbee's ass music actually makes a lot more sense here than it even did with the scary kids. God, alright, we're here a little late, it seems. Good grief, is this really the auction site? Creepy, definitely creepy. At least an 8 on the creepometer. An old home has character, I feel. Let's not judge it by the exterior, shall we? With all speed, the group hurries inside to get away from the weather. The Scooby-Doo motifs will just continue until morale improves. A large group has already gathered in the foyer of the crumbling estate. but one rushes forward to greet us in a blur as the others pay little mind. Hello, Hamza. You are not who I expected in any such way. Hamza welcomes our friends from the Funplex. Welcome, welcome. Gavin, stalwart as ever. Naomi, love, what have you done with your hair? Miss Francina, beauty surpassed only by your wisdom. Oh, fresh. And a new player, it seems. Who might you be? Racecar Drift, your honor. I see. Greetings to you and yours. I'm known as Hamza, seeker of antiquity, finder of things lost, player of games, and welcome to, well, this is not my home, but a place where Hamza shall provide hospitality regardless. Kind of a dump, isn't it? 1980X is antique. Is 1980X antique? Thank you for your gracious invitation. Get him! Get him! I get an eyeful of crumbling fixtures, peeling wallpaper, and strewn dusty rubble. Love what you've done with the place. Indeed! It's a fine arrangement of atrophy and opulence. Oh, how I love the ambience of decaying places. Alas, I've not a moment to enjoy your fine company, Racecar Drift. Perhaps later, but for now it is time. I got you, don't worry. You clapped twice. You clapped twice for attention. Hamza rallies the small crowd in the room to begin the proceedings. He's got a Kaiba cloak. He's got a Kaiba cloak and a dick jewel. Friends, companions, longtime allies of the noble art of the arcade, welcome, welcome to Donnawood. Story begins nearly 30 years ago when legendary pop musician Donna Michaels, singer of such hits as Thrilling and Mama Don't Mope, did a stately pleasure dome decree. So it's Donna Summers and Michael Jackson at the same time is what I'm getting from this. Donna Michaels. Here the reclusive idol crafted a private amusement park, a petting zoo, and an arcade. Alas, she could only enjoy this paradise for a short 10 years before her tragic death. Needless to say, the estate has fallen on hard times ever since. In this year, it shall be torn down to make way for condominiums. But not before we have our say. Friends, those games that Donna Michaels cherished still lurk one floor below. Ready to be rescued from such a terrible fate, it is our moral imperative to do so. I have paid the estate owners a princely sum for the entire lot. Now, Hamza parcels them out for you. By all means, browse the collection, see which pieces sing out to you. Splendor. On the far table, you shall find refreshments, sparkling wine of grapes and delicacies from my travels. Mingle, cavort, do speaking with thine mouths, and we shall begin the auction in 1 hour's time. Indeed. Stuff. Table. Things we go to do. I feel like I'm attending an ancient Roman celebration of debauchery and or gluttony. Not an arcade raid, or an auction, or whatever. Donna Michaels, I knew it. I should have recognized Donnawood when we pulled in, but it was raining too hard. Oh. You've never heard of Donna Michaels. She was the hottest musical act of 1980X. Like, Naomi, I was born in 1990X. Totally plugging my phone at the van stereo so we can blast Girls Just Want to Play Games all the way home. Hey, this is aside from the point, and the point is aside from itself already. But our score is very nice, and I just noticed. Other than that, we sure are 90s? That seems a little too young, too old for this game, honestly. Only 90s kids wouldn't remember Donna Summer's Michael Jackson? I don't know. I don't know. First, I'm gonna go check out the cabinets in her arcade. I'm not really into mingling, so. She dashes off with all speed, heading for the stairs leading below. Suppose I should go network a bit. Hamza's events always draw an interesting crowd of rival arcade owners. Heading for the foodstuffs, Gavin arranges himself a plate, leaving me to, I'm just gonna stay here, I guess. I see why Ashley was always bored at these events. Gavin schmoozes, Naomi analyzes finds, Francine's asleep, so I'm third wheel, even though there's 4 of us, because one of the wheels decided to not participate today. When in doubt, find someone who knows what they're doing and stick to them like glue. Ooh, very limited options, I like that. I would love to schmooze alongside Gavin. Mostly because I think I can just dunk on him. And I want to see who he's schmoozing with. I already get my fill of arcade games on a daily basis, like, let's go hang out up here. I will watch and learn from the master. Gavin, armed with a small plate of delicacies, is hanging back for now and sizing up competition. A perfect moment for me to slide on up and have a chat with him. So, any friends in attendance tonight? I'd hardly call anyone in this room a friend, not even Hamza. You'd be better off not seeing them that way either. These are our colleagues, somewhere between an ally and an enemy, a rival perhaps. Really cold way of looking at it. It's practical. I can't afford to invest in any real emotional currency in any of these people. Not when I have to look out after my own. I don't know if you have... Are you getting good at investing emotional currency in your own people?
I think
That's fine. While I'm friendly with plenty of folks, I do hesitate to declare pure friendship. It wouldn't be fair to the other person. What's the math on that? Consider a true, unfettered friendship, the kind with no conflicts of interest, no strings attached. It's difficult when you're in the same business together. If I'm friends with another arcade owner, I'm liable to make bad business decisions that help out my friend, and vice versa. I wouldn't want to burden them with that. Either I hurt my business and my fellow employees, which would be disastrous, or they hurt theirs to better support me and mine. It's messy. Better to be friendly than friends for all involved. What about workplace romances? Like, you know, within a work unit or like not with a rival. I wouldn't recommend that. I feel like I've been clear on that in this Let's Play series, but I will continue to be clear. I would keep it out of the workplace because it's a lot safer that way. And there's strings attached in the workplace too. Well, that's a little different. Gavin, what's your call on this? Within a group, we're trying to strengthen each other and the group as a whole, so there's less conflict of interest. We all pull the same direction. It can still be messy, however. It's important to avoid conflict of interest. Reasonable adults with strong awareness can sort through that mess, I would hope. Right, good to know. For reasons. Let's size up our rivals for the auction ahead. I do recognize a few. That's the owner of Pixelpalooza on the other side of town. He's amiable and willing to make trades, but will happily take advantage of someone who doesn't know the true value of the game they're trading. She's a private collector. Basement full of retro cabinets. No name? Who's she? Who is she? She's perfectly willing to overpay to get the games she seeks, meaning she'll probably snap up some of the best deals from Hamza, should Hamza allow it. Oh, I can't say I've ever seen, what's the character? Viper from Street Fighter? She was like Secret Service or whatever, right? Might be worth figuring out who she represents. Often arcade collectors will send a proxy in their stead. As for him, he looks familiar, but I can't quite place the face. Two people, wearing sunglasses at night. That's so cool.
Doubtful.
Well, the sport coat over t-shirt looks, somewhat negates that. I'd say. I could swear I've seen him before, though. Gavin suddenly snaps a photo of the man in the jacket before loading up. Hold up. Facial recognition model, current camera roll, latest picture. Whatever. Catches me staring in confusion. You have an iris as well, yes? She's become a common assistant app, likely the free version with less features than my premium edition, but yeah, I'm just used to Iris being my digital BFF, not like yours. Don't forget, Racecar Juniper's my friend too. I have a lot of friends. Friends are great. Friends are fun. Your iris calls you Racecar, not Mr. Drift? Yeah, is that bad? I suppose I'm just iffy on a piece of software acting familiar. Anyway, judging from who's present and accounted for, I have a sincere doubt we'll be able to win any new games. Two of them have deep pockets, the other two are unknowns. Naomi will be disappointed undoubtedly, but that's probably for the best. That girl has a tendency to let flights of fancy overrule common sense. Okay. I mean, that seems really rude. What's up with the rivalry between you two? Because, like, we were just having a whole thing about rivalries, and you said that we all have the same common goal, but I feel like y'all butt heads a lot. You two always had trouble cooperating like this. Permission to speak freely, sir! Why are you two constantly at each other's throats? It's dumb. Makes for an uncomfortable working environment. You've worked together at the arcade for a few years. Surely you could have reached, I don't know, like a ceasefire at some point? Nonsense. You talk as if I'm some manner of warlord. And you value blunt honesty. I'm just being bluntly honest. I'm blunt and honest simultaneously. I see. I suppose I can appreciate that. I would argue that we have established common ground between us, the arcade itself. I am well aware that I can be cold or distant, that my desire to protect Naomi's dream sometimes leads me to think that I need to protect that dream from itself. Believe me, if we had the resources, I'd be happy to buy Naomi all the aging cathode ray tubes and joysticks she desires.
Rather disappointing.
I don't enjoy trying to bring her down to the hard reality we live in, and I don't enjoy the hard reality we live in, for that matter. But the Funplex is very low tier as arcades go. Even some of the private collectors we have here have larger, more impressive arcades than we do. So until the day our fortunes turn skyward, I'm afraid I will need to play the villain for Naomi's sake. I care too much for her to do otherwise.
Apologies.
Aww. Better she hate me for what must be done, than hate me for letting it all fall apart. I can't say I want to be hated, but needs be when the devil drives. Until I can have filet mignon for lunch every day instead of pizza bagels. Until my spiritually satisfying job becomes a fiscally satisfying one. No, there's no point harping on that. Or in Juniper locking me out of a better job. This is the better job. It's up to me to make the most of it. Beep beep, Mr. Cooper. Facial analysis complete. Profile 108551 identified, Mr. Franco Sterling. Buyer for Nostalgia Commodities, Inc. Ooh, that name's gross.
I think not.
That's not right. I remember that face, and he did not work for a trading company. Oh, Gavin, where did I see him before? Iris, did Mr. Sterling work for Putter's Green Mini Golf and Games before joining Nostalgia Commodities? Correct, sir. And who currently owns Nostalgia Commodities? So, yeah, is everyone else just scanning everyone else on here? Nostalgia Commodities is owned by Deco's Palace LLC. What? Wait, I thought... Before I can even finish the sentence, Franco Sterling split away from his little mingling circle to come mingle with us. Gavin Cooper, long time no see. How's the strip mall? Still stripping? Indeed, very much so. When we first met, you were a fresh-faced recruit there. Not that there's much fresh-faced about the Funplex, huh? Come on, let me pour you a drink. We can talk old times. A drink would be ideal, thank you. How's the wife? He taps out a short message before tucking the tablet under one arm and departing with Mr. Sterling in tow. Racecar, you've got mail! I gotta unlock the phone and load up the Funplex's new group messenger app. I did it, that's my idea. Well, Hamza, we have a spy. I'll distract Franco. Secret mission. I mean, not that this would end in a tense white-knuckled shootout, but like, secret mission. Raising a stink wouldn't do, right? Secret mission! I approached the small group chatting with Hamza, the auction master. Not ideal, but it'll have to do. Hey, Deco's pal sent a spy! Hey! Deco the pip. What a weird group of folks. What? I like Hamza! Hamza's darling. I'm gonna date Hamza next. That's the final route of the game. Is we're just gonna hang out with Hamza and just have a weird old time adventuring in the world. Thanks for hanging out with us today. The next time we join up with Arcade Spirits, we're gonna have a rambunctious time like we always do. We're just gonna scream and howl at all these beautiful people. And we're gonna oust a spy. It's gonna be very dangerous. And we might get shot in one or both of our knees. And then we'll come home and we'll say, sorry, Teo. Things happen, you know? I can't dance. I'm gonna just have to take a rain check forever. That'd be a sad ending. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. I love you very much. I'll see you next time for more arcade spirits and more Solon Face. Poor Racecar Drift's knees.